All right. I guess we can start the section. Other persons will join us as we progress. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please confirm you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. All right, so my name is Andrew. I'm happy and excited to have you guys here. Mabel, Sarah, Mabel, can you introduce yourself? Where are you joining us from? You're muted. If you can unmute your mic. Hello, Mabel. All right, so it's like she's far away from our system. So I'm excited to have you guys here. And this is a new QHSE community which we just created. And the aim and is to gather QHSE professionals around the globe, not necessarily restricted to Nigeria, and also to coach and also mentor the new ones, persons that have the intent, the desire to become a QHSE professional. So that is the aim of this community. So we are happy that so far people are joining, and we are increasing in number. So today we are going to be talking about what QHSE means and why it matters. So QHSE is a profession that is making the waves in different industries, and we'll be talking about why it matters to us, to the nation, and also to individual today. Before then, we are just briefly want to talk about QHSE Connect as a new community. It's a platform that is designed to share industrial best practices and insights, promote safety culture and sustainable growth, connect professionals, ideas, and innovations, then also encourage learning, collaboration, and continuous improvement. And that is what is giving rise to what we are doing here today. So please feel free to share the joining link with your peers, your colleagues, and other individuals that you know. Okay, so diving straight into the training we have for today. Section 1, or the first section, is talking about introduction to QHSE. By definition of QHSE, quality, which is the Q, stands for delivering product services that consistently meet customers' expectation and in line with standards. While health promotes, it stands for promoting and protecting the physical and mental well-being of employee. Safety, on the other hand, is preventing accidents, injury, unsafe condition in the workplace. Then environment, excuse me. Okay, better. So environment is ensuring business activities minimize harm to the environment and also promote sustainability. We'll be looking at each of these alphabets that make up the QHSE as we go along. So where does the evolution of QHSE started from? For some of us, safety started from the Industrial Revolution way back around in the early 80s. That is where the Industrial Revolution started. So the growth also started from the growth of quality system. For instance, when we talk about total quality management or the ISO standards, so that is where this quality started from. Then the emerging environment is also what that gave rise to environment. In the when you say HSE, the E, when you're now having emerging environmental regulations, the need to change and to make aware of environmental climate changes and all the lights. So again, the integrated management system combining the QHSE under one umbrella, one framework. This is another thing that brought about the evolution of QHSE in the world, which in turn Nigeria is also subscribed to. Some industries, some organizations in the country, they subscribe to this. Okay, so QHSE as a strategic enabler is regarded as is moving from a compliant mindset into just following regulations to a business enabler. That is using QHSE to improve efficiency, trust, and reputation. So it was before now that we said it's a compliance thing. You must have it. Please mute your mic as you are joining. It's a compliance thing that you must have a QHSE officer, QHSE manager. But the system has moved beyond that. So we are now having, it's now becoming a way of doing business. So David, please mute your mic. Mr. Mike, please mute your mic. So that is where HSE is now regarded as a strategic enabler in the system. Okay, so why QHSE? Why does it matter? First of all, we said when you talk about regulatory compliance, is a need for every organization because of the standard, because of the laws that they subscribe to, that they must comply with HSE regulations, HSE standards, as the case may be. So again, it also helps us to reduce accidents in the work environment. Okay, that also giving rise to fewer disruption and also lower cost of production. Then also enhance or improve efficiency, enhance quality, also give rise to quality loyalty, you get repeat business and also higher profitability. Then when you have a strong environmental stewardship, it improves your brand reputation and regulatory compliance. No organization wants to be given a fine, no want to be sanctioned for not complying with environmental regulations. So when you comply with all this, then you are also ensuring that your business is set for the future, is set to make profit and also reduce accident as the case may be. And just to chip in, no employee want to work in an environment where you are always having, when the safety culture is very, very poor. Today somebody died, tomorrow somebody died, or somebody break their head, break their hand. Everybody is scared. Nobody want to, you feel valued. You will be scared to work in such an environment. So in impact of people and culture, when there is HSE, when there is QHSE and it is practice implemented, employees feel valued. Also, it also gives you a better morale and productivity when quality and well-being are embedded in your management system, in a system. It encourages a proactive culture of reporting and preventing instead of a reactive approach. I hope we understand what a preventive approach means instead of a reactive approach. Then also regulatory and legal reliance. When you implement or you have a system that caters for QHSE, you tend to look at all applicable statutory and regulatory requirements that are applicable to your system and you comply with them. Okay, then by them you are taking away fines, sanctions, and license withdrawal as the case may be. Then also your reputation as an organization, when you practice QHSE can influence your public trust, your stakeholders' confidence, and also your brand, it also help you to brand your value. Then, for instance, this is a real life example. It's a positive one. Companies are known for strong safety and quality record, e.g., oil and gas majors, IOCs in the industry, in the oil and gas industry. They are known for practicing QHSE and they have a strong safety compliance records. Okay, so the same compared to an organization where you do not have a safety compliance and system. Then in that regard, you are having more fines, you are having accidents, your statistics is not looking well. There is no confidence in employee, no morale is boosted by the employee, as the case may be. Okay, so let's now look at quality in QHSE. So what does that mean? Definition of quality is a conformance to requirement, that is meeting agreed specification and standards. Fitness for purpose. Does your product and services solve the customer's problem? Is a question when you practice quality. Then is also give you a room for quality for continuous improvement, not static, because quality evolve with in line with customer needs and expectation. What you do yesterday is not the same way you will do today, because your change, customers' need and expectation, they are always there evolving. So for a better understanding of quality, so we'll be doing more of this webinar, but we'll give you want to make you to go and look at courses where we look at ISO 9001 2015. Okay, so it talked about compliance to management system. Then also you practice the plan, do, check, and act, which is the PDCA circle. This is a framework for continuous improvement. Then when you also practice quality management system, you have documentations, you have record, procedure, policy, work instructions, as the case may be in your organization. Okay, so those are attributes of having a quality management system in an organization. Importance of quality in business. It helps to build trust and reputation among stakeholders and the customer. It reduces waste, rework, and cost associated with poor quality. Improve operational efficiency and employee accountability. Link directly to safety. Poorly made products, tools, or processes can create hazard, which you all will agree with me. If you have a poor process, then accidents are bound to happen in such an environment. So quality is also linked to safety. Then common challenges in quality: lack of standardization in processes, weak supplier vendor quality records, resistance to change and continuous improvement, poor communication between department or processes. So these are some of the challenges in quality management system. So there is a take home here. It's a quality is the foundation of trust and sustainability. If quality fails, health, safety, and environmental risk increases exponentially. So again, as the course go along, we will find out how this come into play and how that also affect your health, how quality affect your health, your safety, and also the environment. So let's look at health and safety in the QHSE. So why health and safety? Why does it matter to us?
Nice to us.
Because it protects lives and reduces injury, especially in the workplace. And as an individual, if you practice health and safety, even in your individual life, your personal life, you will see it. You are protected. You are talking about safety, and you are taking safety home, as the case also may be. So it also improves morale and productivity. It reduces downtime, legal liability, and insurance costs. Okay, just the case of the iceberg, that we have what is on top of the water is what they call the direct cost, while what is under the water is bigger, and that is what is called the indirect cost if you don't practice health and safety in an organization. So also help to build trust with employees, regulators, and the public. Then health in the workplace. This is what we call occupational health. It is the prevention of work-related illnesses or illnesses. Yes. So it places importance on ergonomics, stress management, mental health awarenesses. Okay. Then health surveillance, routine medical check, exposure monitoring, as the case may be. So these are the things that when you practice occupational health in HSC, you are supposed to also be doing this in an organization and ensuring that, yes, they are done as at when due. So the basic work safety principles. One is, first of all, you talk about hazard identification, risk assessment, and control measures. In other words, what we call the HARA. Okay, so these are the basic principles of HSC. So you must also identify what the applicable control hierarchy of control in your workplace. Then also places importance on emergency preparedness, e.g. drills, fire safety, evacuation plan. Okay, these are the basic principles of practice of safety in the workplace that you must practice. Then regulatory requirements. There are different requirements in terms of statutory and regulatory in the industry. For instance, you have the Petroleum Industry Act, you have the Department of Petroleum Resources, then you have the international, in terms of international context, you have the ISO 45001. Okay, then you also have, then there are penalties if you don't comply with all these legal or regulatory requirements. Okay, your organizations can be shut down. There could be fines. There could also be reputational damage, as the case may be. So this is a case of an incident that happened to the BP Texas City refinery explosion in the year 2005. A lot of things happened in this place because of poor safety culture. But as of today, things have turned around in the industry, and a lot of people, a lot of organizations are beginning to get aware. So that is what places more emphasis and more need on having more HSE professionals or QHSE professionals in the industry around the world. In environment also, in the QHSE, which is the last alphabet. Now, why does environment matters in QHSE? It helps organizations to depend on natural resources like water, energy, and raw material. Then environmental harm directly affects human health, safety, and also the future generations. Pollutions, for instance, okay? So the customer regulators and investors now demand proof of sustainability. They also want to know how compliance, how regulated you are in terms of practicing environment in the industry. So different industries have different compliance level and different compliance regulations that they must comply with. For instance, there is the NESRA law, which covers almost every industry. You must get conversant with it as a professional, and you must know what that law or that regulation, what it talked about, and also how can you ensure compliance in your industry or the sector that you work with. So again, when there is a management system, every QHSE, there is a management system that support them. For the environment, is also the ISO 14001, all right, which is the global standard for environmental management system. The core principles of this management system is planning, implementation, checking, and continuous improvement. So here we are talking about environmental aspect versus impacts. E.g., aspect is fuel consumption, while the impact of fuel consumption is what? Air pollution. So you have to look at what are the aspects in your industry or in your operations, and what are the likely impact from this aspect. So again, when you practice environmental management system, these are some of the things you must ensure that you put in place and ensure compliance with it before you can get certified. All right, so there are key environmental challenges in most organizations. For instance, waste generation and poor disposal practice. Then energy inefficiency and greenhouse gas emission, water pollution, oil pollution, and chemical leaks. Then no compliance with local environmental laws. So these are some of the challenges in organizations that practice environmental management system. Just to also chip this in, it's supposed to be a mandatory thing for every organization to ensure compliance to QHSE. If you must work in line with sustainable practices and best practices in the world. So that is a given for every one of us. So sustainability practice, what does that mean? We are talking about waste reduction, that is looking at the 3 R's: energy efficiency, pollution control, and green procurement. What that means is sourcing environmentally friendly materials, okay? Not materials that will be harmful to the environment. So these are sustainability practices that we must imbibe in our various companies and industry. So there are local and global regulatory requirements in terms of environment. The first one, which I talked about, is the NESRA Act. Okay, then you also have under the global, you have the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, which every nation, every country, we must ensure that they subscribe to and comply. Then you also have the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, these are agreements that every countries, they must subscribe to and ensure compliance in every way that they can. Now, what is the roles and responsibilities of QHSE in an organization? So for QHSEs to be sustainable and committed to, leadership of every organization must set the goal, must set the pace. Okay, so it is the management that set the tone, okay, which must be compliant or in terms of compliance and commitment. So visible leadership, managers conducting safety work, for instance, addressing incident openly, and also having a reward system is one of the ways that leadership shows commitment. Another way is also attending toolbox meetings, safety meetings, okay? Then establishing HSE as a core business value, not just a compliance tick box. For management to be committed to QHSE, it must become a core business value in that organization. Then you will know that yes, your management, they are committed to QHSE. Now, the roles and responsibility for supervisors, we'll just go through. Every supervisor have their roles and responsibilities. Every employee in an organization also have roles. So that is why we said HSE or QHSE is everybody's business. So it is not just you as a QHSE person or a safety officer. Every individual, every person in an organization have a role to play in ensuring that QHSE is complied with. So the same way, even the contractors and vendors that you bring to sites, they also ensure compliance. They must also ensure compliance and ensure compliance to your standard and also to host community which you work with. So there is what we call collaboration and teamwork. The QHSE require cross-functional collaboration between the engineering, HRO, operation, and procurement. Open communication and trust between departments must be practiced. Then using feedback loops and suggestion system to capture employee input. What that means is you must have a feedback system. For instance, hazard identification process within an organization. That is a robust system to ensure that your QHSE is robust and is being complied with. So those are some of the things where we talk about collaboration and teamwork. So QHSE is not just for QHSE officers, managers alone, or functions to deal with. It is everybody's business. So building QHSE career, for some of us, and one of the aim why we are setting up this QHSE Connect community is to also bring people into the profession, and we also give them tips and also ways that they can grow in this industry and in the profession. So how do you build a career if you are just one that is coming into QHSE? First of all, there's what they call the entry level, which is almost the same thing in every profession. So some of the entry level is when you are taking as a QHSE assistant or officer. Then safety officer, you also have quality control inspector or technician or environmental technicians. So that is entry level. So from entry level, you go to the middle level roles. By this time, you're already gaining experience and you have certifications. Some of the certifications you should be having here is maybe you need to have internationally, you need to have NEBOSH, then you need to have ISHPON. ISHPON is for Nigeria, Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. Then you need to be a member. You need to undergo some of their training. You need to undergo some of the training to become internal auditor or lead auditor. So these are some training that you must do in order to become a middle role, a middle level role or in QHSE professional. And some of the roles that you can take or you can migrate to is becoming a QHSE supervisor, coordinator, safety engineer, quality assurance specialist, environmental specialist, as the case may be. Then from here, you move to a senior level of specialized roles. Here you have experience between 7 to 15 years. Then leadership and strategic role. Also, you are practicing them as you grow. Some of the roles in QHSE career is become a QHSE manager, head of QHSE, HSE manager, safety manager, quality manager, environmental manager, then risk manager, as the case may be. So here also, the roles, the experience you started to gather from entry level, you sustain it, you are building on it, you are doing more courses, more certification, and you are growing in the profession. So lastly is the executive or consulting roles, which some of us belong to. Here you become a professional with deep expertise in QHSE. And some of the roles you can take up in an organization, you become a QHSE director or vice president of QHSE, as the case may be. Some organizations like Big Tacto. So you can become a vice president in QHSE. You can also become independent QHSE consultant and auditor. Then you can also become ISO lead auditor. Okay, so these are roles that you can take up while you practice QHSE. All right, so the other one is specialized career paths. For instance, occupational health and safety, quality management system, Six Sigma, and all the like. Then industrial hygiene, occupational health, and all that. All right, so in conclusion, my professional colleagues, he said, let us go out and ensure safety, health, and environmentally compliance workplace, and also make more ambassadors of the QHSE profession. We cannot do it alone, the few of us in the industry. So we need more persons to connect. That is why the platform is called QHSE Connect. We need more persons and we need more people to join us. So let us bring more persons. You also, if you want to grow as a professional, you also have to groom people under you. All right. So thank you very much. Okay. So we are QHSE Connect is on LinkedIn and also on WhatsApp. For those, if you need this link to be sent to people, you can let us know and we'll create a link, and which we can also use to invite people into the platform. Thank you very much. So at this point, we want to welcome contribution, comments, or question, as the case may be. Any question from anybody?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Mike Ogaga.
Mr. Mike, nice having you again, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this safety connect awareness, and you really put us through very well along the line. My major aspect of this is when it comes to operation, the real life operation. Mm-hmm. You find it that sometimes we find it difficult on HSE compliance. Yeah. Whereby, what do we do as HSE officer when the top management are trying to frustrate the compliance standard of an operation by bringing some instruction? Yes. That because they are your employees, you cannot really kick against them. So what do you want to do? How do you want to overcome such challenges that might result to some effect of a job and all that?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much, Mike. Again, as a professional, you must belong to also other professional bodies. Belong to a professional body. For instance, ISPON, QMS, AI, as the case may be. So for you to, if you have challenges, so it's for you to come to a platform like this and discuss it. So we might not have the time to really dwell on this later. Maybe on the WhatsApp group, we'll talk about this more. because we are not using a paid Zoom meeting right now. So in case this meeting goes off, we'll restart it again. So what you must do, or what you must know, is also know your onions as a professional. What I mean is, you must know that what are the violations if an organization do not comply with QHSE in an organization, and how do you ensure that management, for instance, if there is a fatality in your organization, the MD of that organization will be arrested. I hope you know. In the oil and gas industry, if you have an accident, the DPRO is supposed to be notified within 48 hours. And if it's a fatality, they must also know. So in that case, they can withdraw your license to operate in that sector. So I'm just giving instances. So knowing the compliance level of some of the regulations, for instance, your Factory Act, labor law, you must know how you comply with them. And you must also know what are the things you must do as an organization. These are the things you also communicate to the management of your organization. Some of the management, they might not know. So it's your duty as a professional to also educate them. So you must educate them and let them know how they must ensure compliance. And ensuring compliance is through you. Ensuring compliance is ensuring that necessary requirements are put in place. For instance, having a safety officer, having an emergency response plan, ensuring that PPE are provided, training are conducted. You understand? Closing out, not putting people at risk when we are working. You don't expose people to hazard. So these are ways. Then also you must also let them know that when they practice safety, we said in the world of safety, we said if you think that safety is expensive, try accident. What does that mean? It means that safety is also a core part of your business, which we have explained here earlier. That when you practice safety, you reduce fatality, people work well, productivity will be high. If productivity goes up, it shows that there is more revenue for the organization. So you should be able to explain all this to your management so that there is a buy-in from them into the QHSE profession. All right? Any other person? Questions? All right. Mike, thank you for that question. So please, our WhatsApp group, please, is not meant for no QHS related adverts or posts. Please, if you have any posts you want to post there, please you can get back to me or review with me or with any of the admin so that we review it before it can be posted. Please, we will try as much as possible, probably every two weekends, we'll be doing this training so that we get more people into this place and also expose us to different things we can do as QHSE professional. So safety profession is for everybody. So in as much as you are here to make money, it is also your duty to save life, to ensure compliance to regulations, and bring more people into the profession by coaching, mentorship, and also what things that we are doing today. So thank you very much, everyone. We do not take your joining us here today for granted. We appreciate every one of us, and we hope to see us very soon. So please, let's take this communication back into the platform, our WhatsApp group, for continuity, so that we all get more insight in terms of what we are talking about. So thank you, and we hope to see us very soon again on a free WhatsApp, on a free webinar or training like this. Thank you.